There are lots of demons that have appeared in the Marvel Universe, but none quite like the Fantastic Four villain known as Darkoth the Death Demon, who I will tell you more about on this episode of Lesser Evils. Darkoth first appeared in Fantastic Four Volume 1, Issue 142. Originally, Darkoth was a normal man named Desmond Pitt. A test pilot for the US Air Force, Desmond was the best friend of Ben Grimm years before he would become the hero known as the Thing. Desmond even saved Ben's life once, after the man had crashed while testing a new fighter plane. Having started a family, Desmond joined a NASA-based project dealing with solar energy. Desmond would discover soon after that his wife was dying of cancer. Around the same time, he also discovered spies working for Dr. Doom, who had infiltrated the project. Playing along with Doom's agents, in hopes of discovering their goals, Desmond secretly worked with the spies. Desmond was so successful that he even earned a face-to-face meeting with Doom himself. After his wife finally passed away, a saddened Desmond let his guard down, resulting in Doom learning that he was a spy. Doom pulled strings to make the world think that Desmond was a traitor working for Latveria before kidnapping him. As punishment for being a spy, Doom then uses chemistry, cybernetics, and a magical metal called promethium to transform Desmond's body, shaping him into the form of a mythical monster from Latveria. Doom finished his experiment with a mind control machine to convince Desmond that he was really Darkoth the Death Demon. Doom keeps Darkoth in stasis until he finds a use for him years later. When the Thing wanders into one of Dr. Doom's plots, Darkoth is sent to fight the hero. While the Thing is walking the streets of a foreign city at night, Darkoth leaps off of a building to attack him. The two battle back and forth until the fight is interrupted when a gas pipe explodes and Darkoth disappears. Later, the Thing is waiting for his girlfriend to finish surgery but gets fed up and moves to check on her, only to discover that he had been tricked. Darkoth uses the Thing's momentary shock to sucker punch the hero. Pushing the Thing through a secret door and into a cave system, the pair battle it out until Darkoth is knocked into some water. Unable to go back, the Thing follows Darkoth and picks the fight back up, leading to him finally knocking Darkoth out. Unfortunately, he is simultaneously poisoned by the villain's claws and rendered unconscious. The Thing is captured by Dr. Doom, and the villain goes on to explain his plan to brainwash the world using one of his devices. Not long after this, Dr. Doom reveals to Darkoth that he is not a true demon, but a creation of Doom's science. Feeling lost and betrayed by Doom, Darkoth decides to aid the captured Fantastic Four by releasing them from their cages. Alongside the Fantastic Four, Darkoth fights off one of Doom's robots, then advances on Doom himself, but not before the villain launches his mind control satellite into the atmosphere. Always with the escape plan, Doom seemingly gets away in a rocket, only to discover that Darkoth was also on board. The rocket ends up crashing into the mind control satellite and seemingly kills Dr. Doom and Darkoth. In Fantastic Four Volume 1 Issue 194, it is revealed that Darkoth is built tough and survived the explosion. As is comic book coincidence, a Fantastic Four villain, the Master of Alchemy, Diablo, discovers Darkoth, who is close to death. Using his advanced knowledge of alchemy, Diablo creates a potion that keeps Darkoth alive. Diablo also shares with Darkoth his own hatred for Doom, resulting in the two villains joining forces. Unfortunately, it's not long before Darkoth discovers that he needs more of the potion to continue living and is forced to serve Diablo. Enhancing Darkoth for his purposes, Diablo gives the already powerful villain small ankle wings that grant flight and the ability to walk through walls. Darkoth also learned that his will was being controlled to an extent by Diablo's potions, preventing him from telling anyone about his newly discovered former life as Desmond Pitt. Diablo's plan involved sabotaging a special space shuttle launch designed to test solar power. This program was the newest version of the same project Pitt had led before he had crossed Doom. To make matters worse, the Thing is piloting the shuttle for its test, which would now likely kill the hero. Darkoth tries twice to warn his former friend of the dangers, but fails and the shuttle launches. Under Diablo's control, Darkoth causes the shuttle to lose energy unexpectedly and forces it to crash land. Darkoth at first believes the Thing perished, but moments later he finds the hero very much alive and very angry. The former friends fight it out again until Darkoth finally breaks through Diablo's potion and reveals his identity to the Thing. Slowly dying without Diablo's potions, Darkoth aids the Thing by leading the hero to Diablo's lair. During the subsequent battle with Diablo, the alchemist reverses the potion's effects that keep Darkoth alive. Using his last moments of life, Darkoth tackles Diablo into his own machine, causing it to overload. The Thing attempts to save Darkoth like his friend had done for him years before, but Darkoth knocks the Thing back and tells him to find his son and tell the boy that his father died like a man, not a demon. The machine then blows up, seemingly killing both Diablo and Darkoth. 3 years later in Mighty Thor Volume 1, Issue 325, readers learn that Darkoth was not killed in that explosion, but was kidnapped by Mephisto the moment before his death. After truly killing Darkoth, Mephisto then revives him and makes him relive the terrible moments of his life, focusing on his orphaned son and how the boy is suffering without his father. Faced with the offer of a new life and the ability to take care of his son, Darkoth agrees to do Mephisto's bidding. Mephisto returns the now undead Darkoth to the land of the living, specifically Chicago. Darkoth's target is Donald Blake, who was still the alter ego of the mighty Thor at the time. Believing that Blake was an evil person, Darkoth tracks the man down and prepares to kill him before his conscience stops him. As Darkoth argues with Mephisto, the disturbance in his room wakes Blake up and he immediately transforms into Thor when he sees Darkoth. Running from Thor, Mephisto bombards Darkoth with terrible images of his son suffering to remind him why he is doing what he's doing. Rededicated, Darkoth fights Thor for over an hour, during which Thor realizes that Darkoth does not truly want to fight him. Using Mjolnir, Thor hits Darkoth with the very essence of light that is opposed by a blast from Darkoth, causing a DBZ-style energy clash. Thor manages to overpower Darkoth, and the villain is purified of Mephisto's influence. Now free of Mephisto's control, Darkoth begs Thor to kill him and end his twisted existence. Reluctantly, Thor grants Darkoth's request and blasts him with more purifying light, allowing the villain to pass on. Mephisto attempts to retrieve Darkoth, but Thor won't have any of that shit and strikes down the demon sent to attack him. Mephisto finally sees the futility of his actions and relinquishes Darkoth, who seemingly passes on into the afterlife. Sometime later, Donald Blake also helps out Darkoth's son by seemingly finding the boy a good foster home. 3 years later, in the pages of Excalibur Volume 1, Issue 38, readers see that Darkoth can't catch a break. Instead of ending up in the afterlife, Darkoth instead wakes up in the magical dimension of Other Place, also known as Limbo, where he is changed and more powerful than before. Darkoth discovers that the promethium Dr. Doom had built into his body drew him to Other Place, where he waited for Doom to return to mine more promethium. Dr. Doom does return for just that purpose and begins leading demons in an effort to take over Other Place. Darkoth resisted Doom's actions, though he kept his true identity a mystery to Doom until the Avengers and Excalibur arrive in Other Place with the intention of stopping Doom. Wielding the incredibly powerful Soul Sword, Dr. Doom tries to destroy Other Place as part of his plan and succeeds in destabilizing the dimension. When Darkoth finally faces off with Doom and reveals his identity along with his ability to control the native promethium, Doom is still able to overpower him thanks to the Soul Sword's ability to control all of Other Place. With his plan a success, Doom exits Other Place, leaving the Soul Sword behind. Looking to take hold of the weapon, Darkoth has to fight another demon for the sword and wins after he completely consumes the other demon. Darkoth's intention is to use the Soul Sword to destroy himself and finally end his suffering. A member of Excalibur, the empathic metamorph Megan, talks with Darkoth and convinces him that he has more strength than he believes to keep on living. Considering her words, Darkoth uses the Soul Sword to remove all traces of promethium from Other Place, before sending the Avengers and Excalibur back to Earth with the exception of Megan. Darkoth shares a moment with Megan, talking about her own strength before sending her back too. With everything settled, Darkoth sits as the ruler and sole inhabitant of Other Place. With the exception of a sorceress who failed to take the Soul Sword from Darkoth, it is unknown what became of him. Other Place has been ruled by several different people since, only deepening the mystery of his absence. So why do I think Darkoth the Death Demon is worth taking a look at? First off, Darkoth had a strong connection with the Thing. They were both best friends back when they were just regular men, and then both were transformed into monsters who struggled to live with it. To top it off, both men were willing to sacrifice themselves to save the other. At his core, Darkoth was just a good man struggling not to be the demon that he looked like. As a bad guy, Darkoth was not very good and repeatedly worked to undermine the other villains controlling him. Knowing all of that, I think Darkoth is the single greatest example of a villain failing up. Dr. Doom originally rebuilt Desmond Pitt into Darkoth as a punishment and made him as powerful as the Thing. On top of that, he had poisoned metal claws that were able to damage the Thing's skin, as well as fire horns that could drain the mental energy of their victim or fire blasts of heat or concussive force. After almost dying trying to take down Dr. Doom, Darkoth receives an upgrade from Diablo, allowing him to fly and walk through walls like a ghost. When Mephisto brings Darkoth back from hell following another failed attempt at sacrificing himself, he becomes undead and capable of fighting Thor to a stalemate. Then, to top it all off, after he dies at Thor's hand, he not only ends up with a body made of a magical super metal that he can shape at will, but also gains possession of the incredibly powerful soul sword that makes him the unopposed ruler of the magical dimension of Other Place/Limbo. Fuck, I love comics. Darkoth is like a shitty Super Saiyan who becomes more powerful every time he tries to kill himself. But then Darkoth completely disappears, just fucking vanishes not to be seen for over 20 years. Darkoth is primed to be brought back at any time with his connections to the Fantastic Four, Doctor Doom, as well as the X-Men and Excalibur. There is also the matter of his son, who has had plenty of time to grow up and would probably want to know exactly what happened to his father. Ultimately, I just want to see Darkoth come back and somehow up his game again. Something like becoming the fourth face of the Living Tribunal, or maybe Jack Kirby's editor in the afterlife.